Welcome back to Rockingham Speedway. The Good Sam Roadside Assistance 200 presented by Ram about to get underway. They say here at Rockingham, if you roll through the garage, you have scraped the good off of your tires. And they've already taken about 2 pace laps. We're going to ride along with a few different drivers.
There's Jason White in the Gunbroker.com Ford. He's going to start 26th. Head to the front, he hopes.
We're also going to ride along with Ty Dillon, the Bass Pro Shop Chevy. He will start from the 12th spot.
This is a truck that's going to be fun to be inside of, Phil. Casey Kane, he's going to go all the way to the back of the field. In 2004, he came within a foot of winning here at Rockingham. Can he get it today?
We're also going to ride along with Jason Leffler right there in the Dollar General Toyota. He will start from the 4th spot. You mentioned Casey Kane. Let's see what time Casey Kane's mine right now. Hey, Casey Kane, Phil Parsons up in the speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Casey, what was it when you saw Rockingham Speedway on the Truck Series schedule that said, hey, I'm going to make that trip from Texas? What made you do that?
Well, it's just an exciting place. I've always really liked racing here, and it's pretty cool that Andy Hillenberg got it going again, and to run a truck here is perfect. We're not racing this weekend. We're not racing today. We had a couple good nights in Texas, and hopefully we can have a good, strong race today.
Casey, your Truck Series schedule, your record isn't very good. You've only won 3 times in 4 starts, so hopefully you can do a little bit better today, okay?
All right, we'll try. We'll see what we can do here. Should be a fun race. Thanks.
All right, thanks for the effort for being here.
Let's take a look at our Royal Purple race analysis from this 1-mile racetrack. 36 trucks will start.
Pit window 75 to 85 laps. Can I have tires at lap 25 every time, please?
Please.
They're going to be slipping and sliding. That's what makes this place so much fun. You can run low, you can run high, and you're going to need tires every chance you get.
Speaking of tires, the guys who's right down there in the thick of it, Hermie and Ray on pit road. Let's go to Ray.
Well, Rick, I want to answer the big question of when will Turner Motorsports get their first victory in the Camping World Truck Series, and I think the answer is today. Obviously, with Casey Kane in the field, it could certainly play to their advantage. As Phil said, his record has been absolutely stellar here. But I also think that James Busher has a really good shot at getting his first win. He's finished second 3 times in this division, and Miguel Paludo and also Nelson Piquet, both of those 2 drivers really showing their stuff. A 4-truck team today, and I think they get their first win. Hermie?
Well, Ray, when you're watching at home today, think about tires. The original plan was to have the tires on the trucks to start the race and 3 sets of Goodyear stickers in the pits. But NASCAR came yesterday afternoon and said, we're giving the teams 1 additional set of sticker tires they can get after lap 100. That means they've got 4 sets of stickers here in the pits. It's how you manage those tires that could predict whether or not you make it to victory lane.
Thanks, Hermie. Our pole winner, Nelson Piquet Jr., chooses the outside. Good decision to start this race on the high side?
I think so. You talk about taking care of your tires. You get pinned down on the bottom underneath another truck for a couple laps, they can go away that quick, Phil. If you run up higher, maybe it takes a little bit of pressure off those right side tires. I believe this is a good move for Nelson.
You can jump out there and run really, really fast, and you're going to pay for it at the end of your run. You have to manage those tires from lap 1 on.
You said the word experience earlier in the broadcast, how important experience is, not only for the driver, but these crew chiefs have to, I guess, give a calming feel to their drivers. Don't go out there and burn those tires up in the first few laps.
This is the one place, Michael, I think that these guys don't necessarily want to go as hard as they go every lap. They have to manage that.
We saw in the Cup race last night, Greg Biffle said, I'm going to let Jimmy Johnson wear his stuff out and I'll go get him. That's exactly how it turned out. That could be the strategy that gets you to victory lane today here in Rockingham as well.
We are about to find out. The lights are off on the pace truck. It'll make a hard left turn onto pit road. The field will now be in the hands of Nelson Piquet Jr. and Polly Haraka, bringing the Camping World Truck Series to the green flag for the first ever time, and throwing that green flag is Donnie Allison in the flag stand. He is our honorary starter. We're underway at the Rock. A great start for Nelson Piquet Jr. on the high side. He goes right to the bottom of the racetrack as they exit turn 2.
Good side-by-side battle for third as the fireworks go off here at Rockingham. Parker Kligerman from the outside trying to take third from Polly Haraka.
3 wide already as they come through 3 and 4. Battling for that 4th spot. Moving up, it's Nelson Piquet Jr., Polly Haraka. Leffler's up there, Kligerman, Peters, your top 5.
Took Paulie a lap or two to get going, but now he's up to speed here. Drives out in front of Kligerman in that battle for third.
Max Gresham dove down into turn 3 the first time. I'm about to spun that truck out. This is so cool, though, watching these trucks use all the different lanes of this racetrack early in the going. Usually for 10 or 12 laps, you think a guy's running right around the bottom. Not here at the Rock.
4 practice sessions on Friday and then Saturday, and throughout all 4 of those practice sessions, the sun was beating down on this racetrack. So the overcast skies may have thrown a little bit of a question mark into some of these crew chiefs' minds, but now the sun has come back out again.
But it's still Rockingham, and if it was 25 degrees and snowing, this racetrack would still be abrasive and slick.
It'd be real slick if it was snowing.
2 wide, 3 wide. Now they're single file as they go down the front stretch, still following Nelson Piquet Jr. But here comes the 18 of Jason Leffler. Another truck on the move, Ty Dillon. We ride along with him.
And check out how rough this place is, Phil. Look at that truck on the inside. He's just bouncing all over the place. And there goes Ty Dillon. He said it doesn't look
trouble on the
Smoker. The 7 of John King into the wall, the inside wall, as they were going down the backstretch. Thunder Alley here at the Rock. And a lot of damage to our point leader, John King.
Yeah, that may not be terminal, but it's going to be close to that.
One Daytona to start the season, had a solid run at Martinsville, retained that point lead, but an early setback today.
Most of the drivers, Michael, were talking about that how tight it was off of turn number 2. Let's see if we can take a look at what happened. There he is. It looks like he just got a little bit sideways up off of turn number 2. Self-cleaning banked straightaway puts him in the inside wall.
John King with a lot of damage to the front end of that race truck. Again, he was coming off of turn 2, got sideways, pointed right to the inside.
Just broke loose with him, Phil.
Yeah,
and
right
you know how
himself.
You've driven here before. You know how easy that is to have happen. These guys will battle that lap after lap, trying to keep these trucks straight up off the corner.
And remember, Casey King had to go to the back of the field. This is what Casey King saw coming out of turn number 2. Just in front of him, John King sideways. Tonight, step into the wind tunnel as Dave Despain takes your calls, emails, and tweets on the hottest stories in the world of motorsports. This is your chance to sound off and be heard. Wind Tunnel with Dave Despain live tonight. That's 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
And one of our guests on Wind Tunnel is a very happy track promoter, Andy Hillenberg.
Yeah, this place is packed, and what a great job they have done to get the people here to the Rock. Let's go back trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, Mike Shiplett will be calling the shots for Casey Kane today. He is his Nationwide Series crew chief. And Mike said, what do you got in that truck? He said, it is really great on the bottom. And Shiplett said, maybe we should pit right now and make one little adjustment. Casey said, absolutely not. I'm moving forward, and I like what you handed me this morning.
And a lot of credit goes to Brad Sweet, who practiced and qualified that truck. Had a great qualifying effort, so a lot of credit to Brad Sweet.
And Brad knows kind of how Casey likes to drive, because Brad Sweet drives a lot of his sprint cars for him. So
And
did a great job.
They're the same size, so that helps.
Yeah. Which is different from Rudeman, who stepped in after Chad McCumbee had practiced his truck. Those two aren't the same size. Side by side, 2 by 2 as they come back to the line. We will be on lap number 9. Again, it's Nelson Piquet Jr., Jason Leffler now on the inside. Green flag back in the air.
Look at Johnny Sauter, jumps to the inside for a second, has to run across the apron to avoid Timothy Peters.
3 wide behind those guys. They're battling at Rockingham. This is great.
Inside of the first 10 laps of racing of 200, we're already 2 and 3 wide, battling for position. Sideways was the 5 of Paulie Haraki. He gets it straightened back out.
We're going to see that a lot today. Every truck here will be sideways at some point in time.
You can see when we were looking out at Casey Kane's truck earlier to find John King spinning. 2 trucks in front of him were about to spin out as well.
3 wide now as they go through 1 and 2. Joey Coulter was on the inside of the 22. It looks as though
Ross
Chastain bounced off the wall in turn 2.
And Max Gresham might have as well. He made a real abrupt move to the inside.
Got a lot more room exiting turn number 4 than you do at turn number 2. Johnny Sauter peeks to the inside of Timothy Peters. Once again, no room there.
A lot of drivers trying to hug that yellow line here at Rockingham. It's a little rougher down there at the bottom of the racetrack. So a lot of them are trying to figure out where they find the most grip. Here's another look at Ross Chastain on the right, catching the wall coming out of 2.
Just barely.
Yeah, that won't hurt anything. Might have knocked a few watermelon seeds off of it. And watch behind him, see, no, ahead of him, see Gresham, he's about to spin out off turn 2.
Gresham in the 24. Now side by side for position. Timothy Peters on the bottom of the racetrack. On the outside, it's the 3 of Ty Dillon.
It's a battle for the 7th spot. Timothy Peters trying to work the inside on Ty. Remember, Timothy's one of the guys that did the tire test here. Talked to Jason Leffler, one of the other guys. He said he ran over 500 miles over 2 days, Michael.
You know what I love here, Phil? These guys have more power than they need. That's why they're sliding sideways exiting the corner. They got all that horsepower into the hood, but they don't have enough traction to hook it up. That's a real balancing act for these drivers.
A lot of the crew chiefs were talking about the tire fall off as far as time per lap. They said that after 10 laps, you could fall off at least a second, 20 laps, 2 seconds, and then beyond that, there could be 3-second fall off on these sets of tires.
Well, just look at Johnny Sauter there. He's going to get that position, it looks like, away from Ty Dillon. He was sideways doing it. How many times are you sideways and you're able to make a pass? You're usually losing ground when you're sideways.
James Bushwick just behind Johnny Sauter. Is Sauter trying to get by Ty Dillon in that 3.
That hot Honey's peanut truck down on the bottom.
James Busher right there with Johnny Sauter. Look the 3 different grooves there through turn number 4 at the exit.
I love where Johnny Sauter was there, right on the bottom, right on that yellow line. He was able to get a good bite up off the third and fourth turn and grab that spot.
Looking at the inside of Jeff Burton. Now we're riding along with Casey Kane. They are running in the 19th and 20th spot. Jeff Burton moves up to 18th. Starr in 20th. Casey Kane just behind David Starr now.
I like the way Casey's running this race, just taking his time. He knows he's got plenty of time here. We're only 15 laps into this thing. We're going to have at least 4 pit stops.
You watch the back ends of these trucks bounce around every time they go through the turns.
Ride with Casey here. Watch all the activity he's faced with. You see David Starr up the hill. He's bouncing around sideways. Truck going up high off turn 2 sideways. Casey's having to take his time because he sees all this, Phil. He knows he can't push it or he'll get himself in trouble.
Casey Kane right behind that 81 of David Starr. Kane trying to make the move on the inside.
That's how he almost won the last Cup race here in 2004. Drove underneath Matt Kenseth, came up just a few inches short.
Just in front of him, Cale Gill in the 33. Trying to work his way around. That 0-8, we talked about Ross Chastain getting into the wall on the right side as he came out of 2. John West Townley in the 0-9 just behind this group.
How about that line? Casey Kane ran through that corner there. All the way on the bottom, left side's down on the line and drove by John West Townley.
And that 81 of David Starr who got sideways coming out of turn number 4. Trying to pull away and run away with this one. The 30 of Nelson Piquet Jr. had never won a pole before yesterday. Gets his pole, and now he has almost a 2-second lead over second place Jason Leffler.
Great battle there for second.
Yeah, now has his hands full as the 88 of Matt Crafton works the bottom of the racetrack, takes second away.
Talking to some of the crew chiefs in the garage here, and they said both the Thor Sport 88 and 13 trucks of
Something wrong with Leffler. Looks like the engine's got a problem.
Leffler on the apron. Looks as though he's coming on to pit road now. So problems with the 18, smoke coming out of the back of that truck.
What a horrible break for Jason Leffler and this Dollar General team. See him just knock it up in neutral.
Took it out of gear. The engine's not running. He's gliding down pit road. He's going to try to make it to his pit stall. Again, out front, Nelson Piquet Jr. continuing to lead. Leffler was running second until he got passed by Crafton, and then as soon as that happened, something went wrong with the truck, and now he's on pit road.
Really rare. You really just don't see engine trouble much anymore in the series.
So saw him loosening his belts. Ray, what's happening with that truck?
Well, there's a belt broken on the front, and he has no power. They have put the hood down, and Rick Wren taking an examination here, but looks like they're going to push him behind the wall here.
Yeah, Ray, we saw the frustration. Jason Leffler.
There may have been an oil pump belt or something like that that broke. Just listen to it.
Sound like it could have been a rod or a crankshaft or something. Big explosion.
Something important in the bottom there.
Not the way Leffler wanted his day to end.